Hi everyone! This tutorial will help you design and implement an online experiment. As an example, I will replicate an experiment on moral valuation. This experiment is similar in many ways to the study that you need to replicate for this class, but it is not the same experiment. In an experiment, the experiment manipulates the independent variable and then measures a dependent variable. In medical settings, for instance, a new drug typically serves as the independent variable and measurement of recovery serves as the dependent variable. The experimenter randomly divides participants into experimental and control groups and administers the drug to the experimental group and a placebo to the control group, comparing the response or recovery of both groups, that is, measuring the dependent variable, will help determine whether the drug has an effect. When experiments want to assess the effectiveness of many possible treatments, they may create multiple experimental groups, each receiving different independent variable or different treatment. There are many experimental designs to test different situations, but in general, good experiments are quite simple. In online experiments, like the one I'll program here, we typically don't administer drugs. Instead, we randomly assign participants to control and experimental groups and expose each group to a different scenario or narratives that serve as the independent variable. After each group reads a different story, we ask everyone the same set of questions that serve as the dependent variable. In our case, participants will read about different transactions between a businessman and a politician, and then answer questions regarding their appropriateness. To complete the assignment, we will use Qualtrics and Amazon Mechanical Turk. Qualtrics, which you worked with before, will allow you to design the experiment. Amazon Mechanical Turk, or AMT for short, will help you recruit participants to the experiment. This tutorial focuses on using Qualtrics to design experiments. A follow-up tutorial will show you how to use Amazon Mechanical Turk to recruit participants and conduct the experiment. Before you start working on Qualtrics, write down the plan of the experiment on a Word or Google document. Make a detailed plan. In our case, the plan of the experiment will look like this: an introduction block that includes a welcome message, consent question, and an age question. This block will be followed by branching. Participants that refuse to participate or are under 18 years of age will end the experiment right there. The rest will be randomly assigned to read about one of the different transactions. Then all participants will answer a set of questions on the appropriateness of the exchange and provide some basic demographic information. To log into Qualtrics, go to itsservices.usc.edu/Qualtrics. You may need to plug in your username and password. Once you log in, click on the Create New Project button, choose a survey, and name it. The next page is where you actually write questions and design the experiment. To start, name the block and paste or write a short welcome message. The message should include a brief description of the experiment and information about the risk associated with participation, if any. I recommend labeling each question. Use the tabs on the left to change the question to text, graphic, because it is not really a question. In the next question, paste the consent form and use the tabs on the left to reduce the number of answer options to just 2. Now add the age screener in order to exclude participants that are younger than 18 years old. It is important to choose the force completion option for both the consent form and the age screener. To make sure that participants are not just choosing random questions, I include an attention screener. Attention screeners are simple questions that require participants to pay attention. We will ask participants about their favorite cake and signal in the question text that the unlikely right answer is carrot cake, assuming that no one in their right mind will have it as their favorite cake. In the methodological literature, there is an ongoing discussion on whether participants who fail the attention screener should be excluded from the experiment or not. I will allow the inattentive participants to complete the participant and see if the results are very different from those produced by the attentive participants. If a participant does not consent to participation or is under 18 years of age, she should not participate in the study. To exclude such participants, go to the survey flow on the upper left and click Add New Element here and choose Branch. This element will allow you to define the conditions that lead to termination. Remember to choose the OR condition here and add End of Survey. I'll create customized message that read, "Thank you for your time." The next step is setting the independent variable. Add one block with a short introduction to the experiment. The next block should be labeled independent variable. Upload the text to the block one by one. These are not really questions, so you need to use the bar on the left to define each question as descriptive text. Once you upload all the questions we need, click on Block Options and choose Question Randomization. Instruct Qualtrics to add one script only to each participant and save it. Now it is time to create the independent variable block. First, we need to add a short descriptive text that all participants will read. Some of the questions in this block work better when displayed in matrix form that we can choose on the upper left side. Set the right number of answer options to each question and upload each question. Here too, it makes sense to use the false response option because the information is critically important. Adding the demographic block is quite simple. To create the random number code, we go to survey flow and add new element here. Now we add a web service. Qualtrics created many different web services functions, but we specifically need an automated random number generator. In the URL space, paste the following message. On the query parameters, define a minimum and a maximum of 1,000 and say 9,000. 9,999. Go down and set the embed data as mturk equal random. And now test the web service to see that it works properly. We want to make sure that it creates this kind of random number. Once you have this all set, you click Apply. Even a minor typo of the web service will set the survey astray here, so pay careful attention to this particular page. We want the number generator to be generated before the end of the survey message, so we use the move function to push it up in the survey flow, somewhere after the first or second block, doesn't matter. Going back to the survey, click on Survey Options, choose Security, and turn the Prevent Multiple Submissions option. Now we are almost done, but it is critically important to check that everything works according to plan. Use the Preview button to explore the branching 5 to 6 times to be sure that everything works properly. The preview will also allow you to see if you need to add a page break or provide some clarification along the way to make it easier for participants to complete the experiment. In the preview option, you can take the survey as many times as needed until you are satisfied with the results. Once you are satisfied with the design of the experiment, click Publish. This is exciting. The experiment is now live and anyone that has access to it will be able to participate. The next step is to recruit participants using Amazon Mechanical Turk. I will show you how to do that in the next tutorial.